welcome, Kitchen Sink family members. Can you believe it? The guy is still here. He is still here. And today we're looking at something interesting. Actually, very interesting. Yeah. Let's just read the Bible.
Yes.
But I'll read in English only.
Okay, that's all.
Because when I read it in Shona, guys, I don't want to be crucified. So I'm not going to read the interpretation that I have in Shona. No, I'm not going to go there. In English, it says, where is my scripture? In English, it says, Proverbs 18, verse 22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Sorry, let me take it again. He who finds a wife finds what is good. He receives favor from the Lord. I said I'm not going to read it in Shona. Are you on mission to find a wife?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Starting point? Middle?
I'm moving. I'm moving.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you believe you found a good... What is good?
What is good? Yes, I think I have. Can I say something quickly?
Yeah.
This is very exciting. So once upon a time, I developed a thought, a school of thought or concept when it comes to marriage.
Okay.
When it comes to this journey of getting married.
Yeah.
It's a case study of sorts. So if we take 4 men from the Bible, who were husbands, and we break down their lives, at least in the aspect of marriage, there's something to learn and note in this process.
Okay.
So if we have Adam, we have Jacob, we have Boaz, and we have Hosea. Right. You see where I'm going? I love it. Adam, Jacob, Boaz, Hosea. Adam, the first man. Eve was presented to him.
Yeah.
Rachel was pursued by Jacob. Boaz probably should have filed the case because Ruth was busy trespassing.
Yeah.
It was very scary waking up and seeing a woman. Hosea was instructed to marry Gomer.
Yeah.
So these are men. There's a commonality there. These are men. These are husbands, but they all got married very differently.
Yeah.
Or they found themselves in marriage very differently.
Yes.
One woman was presented to the man.
Yeah.
Another woman was pursued. Another woman pursued the man, or was instructed to go to the man. This is Ruth.
Yeah.
And then another woman was also pursued, but from an instruction point of view.
Yeah.
So between Jacob and Hosea, there's instruction and willingness, so to speak, that needs to be unpacked. So when you come to Godfrey, right? I'm not a biblical character, but I'm a son of God.
Yes.
I hope. Where do I stand in all of this?
Tell us.
Right. So in my young life,
yes,
I've tried.
Young or younger?
Yes, younger life. In my short-ish life, I've tried Jacob's route in various ways.
Okay.
Where I see someone I'm interested, she's attractive in various ways, and I pursue.
Yeah.
Or at least at the very least, I make my intentions clear. Hey, I think you're beautiful, or I say whatever I say.
Do you have good lines though?
Oh yeah, I think I've got good lines.
Give us one.
Why?
Give us one.
Give
us one for Kitchen Sink family members.
Yo, being put on the spot like that. So okay, let me try it. I'm not really like a punchline.
Okay.
What's the word? Pickup line guy.
Yeah.
But more of like a charmer.
Okay.
Sweet talk.
Okay.
That's my approach. Yeah.
Let's have it.
Because I think punchlines, they can be corny and stuff, but also sometimes it usually leads to gimmicks.
Okay.
And I'm not on that train.
Okay.
No disrespect to you.
Okay.
But yeah. So I'm a charmer.
Okay. Okay. So we move on.
Yes. So you know, I haven't experienced I haven't had an Hosea experience.
Okay.
I
Not many men.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if we, for the sake of what where we're trying to go with this conversation, most men or many men are largely on the Jacob Rachel train,
Okay.
where you make conscious decisions about someone you see and someone you express interest in, and therefore someone you pursue.
Yeah.
And that can happen in so many ways. And so it's interesting how it's come about in history or tradition, where, you know, we know about Lobola, right? We know
Or
about
dowry.
right, in different parts of the world.
Yes.
And then also we know about what is Western, where there's just almost merely or simply expressed intention and action that ensues that, where there's a proposal and so forth. So I'm single, right? By single, I'm unmarried. Just to qualify that, and I'm yet to experience marriage.
Single but not available.
Yes, that's exactly what that means. Yeah, you know, looking at how I may get married, I'm on the I may be on the Jacob train.
Okay.
Right, where so if we talk about in this part of the world,
yes,
there's Lobola.
Yes.
Aurora.
Yeah.
Right?
Maroro.
Which for me is a very, as Mumza said right at the beginning, an interesting topic.
It is.
It's also very contentious. I think given what it's become now.
Okay.
Where people fight it based on what has been purported from a sometimes exploitation aspect or an abuse of funds aspect or a manipulation aspect. These are all the sort of negative sides of it, but also there's what's been encouraged and you know, perpetuated, which is just, hey, this is fun, this is exciting, this is us bring families together and all of that. So I think that's where the conversation can go on what that means. Are
you ready to pay Lobola?
Am I ready? Yeah, I'm close.
What's your take on Lobola?
Lobola must fall. Hashtag Lobola must fall.
Godfrey. Really?
No, for real. So, like, if I had it my way, no?
Yeah.
Not the cameraman laughing. If I had it my way, I would do away with the transactional part of it. Of there's this woman's hand in marriage, there's this set price, and there's a negotiation that's conducted to, you know, determine this price. I would do away with that.
Okay.
And I'll get into that. But what I would uphold and what I do value and I think is really exciting is some of the fun activities and interactions that take place as a Rora ceremony is happening. Like the marriage, right? The wedding, the wedding part of it. It's exciting. Like, you know, the uncles coming by the gate, or Chifara, people dancing. There's the, you know, the greetings. It's very emphatic and charismatic. That's great. I'll champion that. I've seen some people do like the whole, a man has to, like the bride and her sisters, they like are covered up and they sit.
Yes.
And then the man has to identify as wife. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
I think, you know, some things like that. Or like, you know, the introductions. They're also very dramatic sometimes, you know, just to make it a bit, you know, so it's fun.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, splendid. I just have qualms with a price being placed on a hand of marriage. It's tricky. It's just, I think it's unnecessary tensions that can come from, not may or will, but can come from it socially, at least. Yeah.
I have to follow through.
Of course.
I do not think I could back you up on hashtag Lobola must fall.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a conversation that we have to have as a people around the commercialization of Lobola and or dowry. We call it Lobola, this part of the world. I think that it has been heavily commercialized to the point, like you say, it is dehumanizing, because you definitely are not able to place a charge, a fee on a human being. I hear that generations before my own parents, my grandparents, it was different in many parts of our society, where a person could give a hoe, they could give a stick as a show of commitment. They could, so it was not commercialized. It was never intended as a point of benefit. It was a gesture to ensure that a new relationship is founded on some kind of premise and or agreement.
And I'm for that. I treasure that. I'm on that train. So I can remix my statement.
Okay.
Kuti.
Okay.
Parts of Lobola must fall.
That's good.
You know, yes, or the commercialization of Lobola must fall, for sure. Because I think what has been gravely unfortunate is what has come from this commercialization, when people are abused, powers are overstated, or there's just disregard for persons because there's money involved.
So what is the impact? What has this commercialization, has there been an impact on your relationship with your newly found wife on the basis of the commercialization, do you think?
Yeah, so to an extent, I think, you know, it depends, right? So I think what is unfortunate as well is the kind of resentment that can come from some of these things, that someone feels just what's the word, unfairly treated or whatever, or I think there's a conversation on expectations being mismanaged in all of this that becomes tricky. So if anyone is placing any price on anything, someone is going to feel like this is expensive or affordable, or it's unreasonable, or it's reasonable. Now we're talking about relativity, right?
Yes.
So things like that as well are interesting to navigate.
Now that you said you are single, but not available, we do have a guy in the house who is not single, who is married. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you one of our cameramen. He's called Algie. He is not single. He is not available. He is a father of 3. Today he's coming to answer from his generation. A young father of 2.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
1.5. Yeah. What was your take on Lobola when at the time you were paying Lobola?
So my take was that Lobola is not like, so I think for my time it wasn't commercialized.
Oh, it wasn't that
yeah,
bad.
as it is now. So for me it's just a form of appreciating.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the
You were happy with it?
I was happy.
If they had commercialized it, would it have changed anything? Do you think?
Yeah, it would have complicated a lot of things.
Like what?
Like me going to buy a cancer.
Instead of getting married.
yeah, but I know, but seriously, I think it would have maybe affected my budgets and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also my perception in terms of how the family maybe feels the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When we started, he said hashtag Lobola must fall. At this juncture, he's saying, nah, hashtag parts of Lobola must fall. What's your take?
I think saying Lobola must fall, I think for me, I disagree.
Because you're a girl child.
Yeah,
You are looking forward to charging one day.
I disagree.
Okay.
But also, what I agree with is maybe the commercialization of Lobola must fall.
Must fall.
Yeah, not the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This guy has been here ever since we started, and you'd never seen him. So I agree with you that just like anything in life, guys, this is what we are saying. Lobola is an aspect of our society, a part of our norms, our customs, and let's allow for it to evolve as well. And if a whole generation is saying aspects of Lobola must fall, particularly the commercialization of Lobola must fall, one would then ask, what would then be acceptable? Do you want to give me a whole?
Acceptable is also relative, and it's subjective.
Okay.
And I think what may be foolproof as an approach is giving more agency to the person who is marrying, the person who's appreciating. And I know that this kicks a lot of people, but hear me out. So I think it's sticky when... So as I've heard people say, Lobola is a token of... it's a form of appreciation. Who's appreciating?
You.
Right?
The
So if I'm coming to marry,
yes,
I'm the one appreciating, right?
Yes.
Therefore, I would present that I'm the one who's supposed to govern what the appreciation is. And it's useful for me to have a relationship with you to make a better decision on how I can appreciate you appropriately, right? So so I know it may be a new age or modern approach, but to me that's just what makes sense, right? That I'm marrying into this family, and from what I know about this family, especially or particularly the mother and the father, mom appreciates this, dad appreciates this, or if it's their guardian or tete or whatever. As my appreciation for raising an amazing, beautiful woman, here is what I'm presenting, and it could be anything, big or small.
And we must take it.
Yeah, right.
I don't know that my generation will sit well with us.
No, but you hear what I'm saying.
Yes.
So just speaking almost purely theoretically and conceptually.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So in that regard, I mean, I've even heard people say, so that's the appreciation aspect of Lobola.
Yeah.
The other one I've been made known about is that of a measure of financial stability.
Or financial strength.
Yes. Right? Which for me, again, can also be countered by something very simple and practical. Right? So if I am again coming to marry into your family and you are concerned or curious about my financial strength and stability, ask me for my bank statements. Ask me for my investment portfolio. See my my income streams. You don't need to charge me what I would label a ridiculous amount of money to test whether I'm financially fit, stable, or secure or strong. Just see what's actually on the ground. So it's practical things like that. And then lastly, the other facet of Lobola which people have presented is that of relationship building. Right? That the process is embedded in relationship building. And I'm like, okay, we can build these relationships by spending time together, doing things together, and talking and engaging.
Yeah.
And the only means of exchange of money that need to take place is us getting things and resources to facilitate these exercises.
Yeah.
Right? So it just defeats the whole purpose for me that if people have excused it, if it's on the monetary aspect of it, to place these old things. It's like, wait, there are other ways of testing all these things. So yeah, like that's why I've said finally that it's okay for people to concede that it's a transaction. It's okay, given that there's precedence. We've spoken about this before the episode, that there's precedence, that in the Bible there was a price placed on a woman, at least for her hand in marriage, that someone had to honor if he was to take her hand in marriage. It was purely conditional, and it was okay, given the context, given the time, the era, and the purposing. But today, given that it's a culture thing, culture's dynamic, things can change. And so is it still okay? Well, that's up to the people. So that's, for me, it's like, because it's something so fluid and something so dynamic, and it's people-centered, people can also change things and address things and change and shift and to make it relevant to them as they see fit, which is okay.
So here's my take. I totally agree with hashtag Lobola must, commercialization of Lobola must fall. I'm for it 100%. I'm not there yet to allow the young men to be the one to determine that's the appreciation. I'm not there yet. And I'm not there yet because of tradition, I suppose. And I suppose I've raised my daughter expecting one day I'll receive something. So please don't tell me to stop now.
No.
Because I would love to receive something for my daughter. But needless to say, the commercialization of it has to stop. So in other words, all that what you have said makes a lot of sense. I'm looking forward to a day where a young man is reasonably charged for Lobola, and out of the kindness of their heart, they will top up because they can do better. I would love to experience that. So that
makes sense.
so that it's not only just one-sided, on the like to say to the parents, stop charging and allow me to present what I can, but we are saying, okay, I will reduce charging, but can you also show me that you are valuing my daughter and you're willing, if I have asked for a hall, you can give me a car for it. And I think that will turn things around than what I believe the conversation has been all the time, almost like we're pointing fingers to my generation as the ones that have commercialized Lobola. But the young man, you are not standing up, you're not rising up to actually show me that of your own you are well able, of your own.
And I think that's a good marrying of, pun intended, of the approaches. That for us, if it's the family, the daughter's family, for us, we're trying to honor culture and traditional practice in this regard by expressing our expectation. I'll call it an expectation.
Yes.
All right. We're trying to honor that, but we also then expect or rather hope that you would also express your value and treasuring for us and our daughter by governing how you see fit to. So you know what I mean? And I think that could be really exciting.
But I think this conversation is very necessary at this day in our age, where we have to revisit, and this I'm addressing as parents. Please, can we stop commercializing Lobola? It's not necessary. This person will be with us in our lives till death do us part, and so there is no need for us to, I believe, to be so rigid and be so, I do not know how to describe it in English, but kuomesa moyo, to the extent that your own child sometimes then loses their dignity because you have sold them like an object. I honestly don't think that is necessary. But I also would want to speak to our sons to say, again, show up.
Yeah.
Show up, show us that you are committed. We are beginning to see this in the Christendom, that there are people, there are families who've done away with Lobola. I know a family where the father of the house wanted one particular thing, maybe in the region of hundreds of dollars worth of whatever it was they wanted, and they got it. And that's all they wanted. And the mother also had whatever that she had wanted. Whatever. If I remember well, the sum total of the monies that were paid there were in the regions of 1,000 plus. And I think that is very reasonable. And that can be done. But I don't want for a young man to then walk away all late and celebrate that, mine was cheap.
Yeah.
As if equals to
that's a
the daughter is cheap.
Yeah. That's so.
Because when we are saying you cannot place a monetary value to a human being, that's what we mean. You can't just give us something, a token of appreciation, but don't use that to now go back and hit us below the belt for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I actually also wanted to bring up something very interesting from what I've learned about Lobola. Okay, so culture, context.
Are you saving up for Lobola though?
Yeah, something like that.
Cameraman, are you saving up for Lobola? Cameraman, when are you going to start? Guys, the cameraman is letting us down. You have to start to save for Lobola.
I wanna highlight something from a principle basis, I would say. When it comes to purposing, I really value purpose. So what I understood, so Lobola made sense back then when you look at it from a practical point of view, household point of view, and a resource point of view. So in a household back then, everyone was labor, right? You know, we didn't have technology the way we have it, or we didn't have the marketplace as we have it today. So if you were a child, you were part of the resources in the house that actually contributed to income, upkeep, and all of that.
Yes.
So a daughter being married away literally meant one less resource in the home.
True.
Therefore, Lobola represented a compensation or a reimbursement of that resource.
Have you ever heard of the story in the Bible about a man called Zelophehad? This man had only girls. And this man died. At the time of his death, the law then in the Bible was that inheritance was bequeathed to a son. And if there was no son, I think it would then go to the male,
Like cousin or something.
uncles and, as long as it was a male someone. And these girls, they argued their case with Moses. They said, you cannot deprive us of our father's inheritance because we are women. And Moses actually stopped and he took the matter with God. And when he came back, Moses' answer was that you are able to receive the inheritance. However, you cannot marry outside of the tribe of your father or the clan. Because to do so is to take out that inheritance now to a different clan. So in essence, what they were doing at that time was to preserve this inheritance. And scripture actually records to say these daughters, they married into their father's tribe. And the reason for them doing that was to preserve wealth. And what I'm hearing you say on these Lobola issues is that it must never, one, it must not be commercialized, but it has to be discussed and or engaged upon from a place of not necessarily just wanting to demean, devalue, customs, but to add value. And you do so by appreciating that which the son-in-law is, and whatever that means to a particular person, and ensuring that the two will be adding value to each other going forward. I think that as parents, if that assurance is given to us, it will make sense for us to then say, yes, some of those aspects of Lobola have to fall. But as you have seen, kitchen sink family members, I have two young men. One is single but not available. The other, I suspect, is single and available. The one who is available hasn't even started saving for Lobola. Guys, it's not fair. The one who is single and not available, at least he's now saving up for Lobola. We said here, we agree that certain aspects to parents, certain aspects of commercialization in Lobola, it has to fall. But we have also said, young men, save up for Lobola. Show up.
Just in case.
Show up strong. This nonsense of a young man coming and then trying to cry on the date, no, not acceptable.
Yeah, no, but also just, I think, I like what you said, how you've presented about the discussion aspect of things, right? I think it goes a long way when people connect with the heart behind things. So I think anyone would fight any figure if they don't connect with the purposing, the heart behind anything that's presented, during these engagements. Because the aim is to build, hopefully. The aim is to bring people together, and if there's I was talking about the relevance aspect as well. That I brought it apart from a resource point of view in the household, but also if you look at it from a place of that was I guess that family is social, but from a cultural point of view as well. If you look at how each person is contributing to the new home, right? Where does Lobola stand in either aiding that or slowing that down?
Very interesting question.
Yeah.
We have a tribe in Zimbabwe. They are well known for commercializing Lobola. In fact, I think they take the flagship.
We shall not mention it.
No. We will not mention no name here. But they are also very much well known for giving abundantly when they are gifting their children at weddings.
Yes.
Almost as if to say, whatever they charged, they actually will give you back. I like it with that particular tribe, in that, like what you are saying now, they would have charged you, but what it does is they forced you to save.
I get that.
And when they have charged you, they will not use that money for themselves. I mean, they'll use part of it, but the bulk of that money they will give you back as a gift at your wedding. Meaning, they are trying to enable you to start strong. But if you limit your perspective about that particular culture from the point of view of why in the first place are they charging so much, but that helped you to save, young man.
I get that.
And you will get it back. I definitely know this tribe, they go out of their way to enable you to start off strong.
Can I also, there was another thing. Yes, I just remembered it. Another interesting part to note about from the history of Lobola is that today so I'll start here and then go back. Today, if Lobola is happening, right, the onus is largely on the man getting married. right? So, and that usually is going to take more time, more effort, and etc. Whereas, from what I learned yesterday, the family was marrying into another family.
Yes.
And it became a collective effort. And I think even from that point, more could be given. There'd be less strain on the new couple. Where
You know why we changed it? My generation?
Yeah.
Because then the family claims ownership of the wife. So you become a family wife.
Oh.
So by the in some instances,
Learning something new.
yes, in some instances, it almost strips your actual husband of rights in terms of responsibility, oversight. He's stripped of that. That becomes the prerogative of the whole family going forward. And even in terms of your conduct, I know extremes, obviously, where a younger brother, for example, because they participated in the marriage of this woman, they want a share. They become shareholders. They want your shirts. They want access to your clothes. They want access to your money. They want access to your house because they.
Yo, I hadn't thought of it. I'm learning something.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's when I know predominantly my generation, we felt if you don't have the money, you'd rather wait and save up and do it yourself. Because the task to a young girl to then try and please a whole clan, it's tough. Whereas I found that the generation for my husband, they could now stand up against that ill practice. That no, you're not going to do that to my wife.
Because she's
I
my
married
wife.
my wife.
Yeah.
I will tell you what I want her to do. You know this practice of at a funeral, whether it's raining or it's not, these young women are expected to be working hard in the rain. Then a man can say, no, you're not using my wife as a slave because she is mine and mine alone. But if she arrived on the scene through the contribution of everybody, it becomes difficult.
So I think that's where you can draw the positives and the negatives of this aspect of marriage.
Yes.
Where it's either beneficial or, like, I guess, of course, abusive.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted.
So we can stop there.
Yeah.
But please, families, let's be reasonable. Across culture, across region, let's be reasonable. Thank you. See you later.